Howdy folks, Tex Grebner here with Tex Grebner Outdoors. Now if you've been following my Instagram, which is at Tex Grebner Outdoors on Instagram, naturally, you'll know that I've got a boar hunt coming up in Oklahoma. Now hunting is a religion to me, and I'm weirder than squirrel shit, and hunters, if they get down to where they'll actually admit it, are superstitious folk. Just the way things are. However, I've got this weird mojo with my broadheads. You see, I will never use the same pack of broadheads twice. Mostly because I take them out of my arrows at the end of deer season and they end up getting lost somewhere in the back of my junk drawer, so I just buy new broadheads. But I tend not to use the same broadhead pack more than once. And I kind of flip-flop between using the Ashby Broadheads and the Eclipse Werewolf Broadheads. Both of these are single beveled broadheads for bone splitting and deep penetration, and both of them are 300 grain broadheads, so I've got high weight forward of center, and of course I use a 100 grain brass insert. So I'm going to show you how I normally go about putting them into my Easton FMJs, because I actually don't use a torch most of the time for hot sticking. This is going to be a little bit strange, but I'm Tex Grebner, so we're going to make it weird. I tend to use my stove for hot sticking my arrows. I don't know about anybody else. I find this just as easy as a torch. And so I'm just going to heat up my insert to where my hot melt is going to actually flow. Take my arrow, rotate my arrow down, and there we go. You always hear about how you want to shoot your broadheads before you go hunting because they may hit differently than your field points. Now in my experience, a good quality broadhead, whether it's a cut-on contact or whether it's a mechanical, should shoot the same point of impact as your field points if it's properly made and properly engineered. But where that really becomes important is in traditional archery, because if you're using a 100 grain field point and you put on a 100 grain broadhead, the 100 grain broadhead is going to be significantly longer than your field point. So it's totally going to change your sight picture in your sight window, and it can really screw up the mojo of your shooting. Now in my case, I tend to be an instinctive shooter out to 20 yards, and I tend to gap shoot and point on beyond 20 yards. And traditional wisdom states that you want to align your broadhead with your hen feathers so that your broadhead's going to be straight up and down. In my case, I have found that because I shoot with the bow on a cant, I need to cant my broadhead halfway between my cock feather and my hen feather. That way, when my bow is canted over and I take a shot, at 20 yards, I can literally use my left side of my broadhead blade as a bit of a blade sight to be able to make really precise shots like a diagonal pin sight. So I want you to check out the penetration I've got here. You want wild, I will show you wild. You want weird? Trust me, I've got weird. Now I did mention Instagram earlier in this video. and I have coined the hashtag of kill with sticks, because I've always been far more too primitive for my own good. I've always been too much of a critter for my own good. I love varmints because I'm about half varmint, and all them varmints are about half Tex Grebner. Now, just gonna show you here that just as any good broadhead should, the Werewolf Broadhead is shaven sharp. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please check out my friends over at SOETacticalgear.com. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. And thanks for watching Tex Grebner Outdoors.